What are you playing in the minute, mate?
Game wise,
game-wise.
it has really. Do you know what? It's been Soul Calibur, and even in my spare time when you're not on, I'm training and just like I haven't had a new game in a while. I haven't bought a new game in about 2-3 months, and I think that's because I'm aware that in November there's at least 3-4 games coming out. So you got like Assassin's Creed, you got Cyberpunk, and all that, and they're going to be big hitters. So I'm not particularly stressed out that I'm not playing anything at the moment because it's focusing on other things. But and to be honest, I can't. If I was into gaming and Pokemon cards at the same time, I'll be broke. So I can't fucking keep up too. But yeah, so there's some big AAA titles coming out in November, December time, as well as the new consoles, which is next month. So obviously for everyone, we know they're coming out next month. If you can get your hands on them, fair enough, because at the moment you've got to pre-order your pre-order, which is like that's the way it's going because of obviously like demand and COVID-19 hit manufacturing. But yeah, games wise, mate, I'm just holding out for November and training on Soul Calibur.
Fair play. I'm playing a lot of Soul Calibur with you. Need to train some more as it's starting to show. But
I'd say I'm playing it. You're sort of, I don't know what you're doing.
Watching
mate.
it, dick.
No,
I'm playing that. I've just done Spyro 1 and Spyro 2. Just finished those on the Switch, and I'm doing the third one now, Year of the Dragon. Just going through them, reliving my childhood again. They're just fun games, relaxing, easy to play. I wouldn't say easy actually. Some parts are bloody hard. Yeah, they're really fun. Just playing those. FIFA comes out Friday, so I've got that coming Friday. So it's quite a big month for me. October. Sorry. It's got FIFA being released.
Can't wait for that to be exactly the same as last year.
Pretty much. I was gonna get Crash Bandicoot 4 because that's just came out, brand new Crash Bandicoot game.
Yeah, I'm not gonna play that. I don't think.
It looks decent. It looks really good. I think I'm gonna probably get it next month. It looks pretty decent. It's got decent reviews as well, actually.
This will be a classic case of reliving your childhood, but not with the same game. And people will think, it's like Crash 1, 2, and 3. You know, it's Crash Bandicoot 4. And the answer to that is no. No, it won't. You're looking into a mirror, basically. Like, there's no, it's not going to be the same. You know, it might be a fun game. It might be a fun game. It might last 4 hours. But I'm telling you now, it's not going to be the same as 1, 2, and 3.
No. I mean, so it's by the same developers, and they've kind of turned it into they're scrapping everything that happened after Crash Bandicoot 3. And it's kind of like a direct sequel to 3. So it's forgetting about Crash Bash, Twin Sanity, Crash of the Titans, all that kind of stuff. It's just a direct sequel to 3. It looks alright. I'm going to give it a chance. As a fan, I've got to give it a chance.
If they made a new Spyro, I'd give it a go. So I can't complain about Crash Bandicoot, I suppose.
Yeah, you would. That's what they're missing, isn't they? Like a really good platformer character, like a new mascot. There's not really one, is there? Because you had so many on the PS1, like Rayman, Croc, Spyro, Gex, Crash. There's none of that on this gen.
No, I know what you mean. I mean, I suppose nowadays they're more considered to be arcadey type games.
Yeah. I mean, like the big flagship characters that are around now are from a couple of gens back, like Master Chief.
Marcus Phoenix.
Marcus Phoenix. Some of the Call of Duty characters. Assassin's Creed. All these kind of big characters that they're old. There's not a new one.
True. No, it's true. There is not a new flagship character. No, that's true. That's true.
Maybe we should draw one up, eh? We should come up with our own.
That's a good thing to bring up because throughout 40 episodes, I've been trying to think of a way to bring this in, and I think you just brought it up there, so I'll just mention it quickly. There was a time in your life, Sam, where you were thinking about making a game.
You brought it up before, you bastard.
No, I haven't, I promise.
Zombie Horizon. Yeah, Zombie Horizon.
God.
We're going live on the Xbox Live Arcade in 2 weeks' time. Yeah, cheers for that, Tom.
Sam and a few of our other friends at the time, I wasn't involved in this actually. I was as an outsider. I had more common sense back then. But I was inward looking, and I'd see Sam. He created a web page. It said Horizon on it, very creative, and decided to do some character descriptions of these 4 characters. And one of them was called Kyle something. The other one was called Evie Underwood.
Evie Underwood.
Evie Underwood. You know, and she was a scavenger, and she'd pick up forks and knives and scabs.
But basically, it was kind of like a third-person zombie survival game. But yeah, we done all the planning, all the designing, done the story, the characters. Didn't actually make the game.
Yeah, I mean, when Sam says it's a zombie game, you wouldn't know that. You wouldn't. I mean, like a child scribbles like a design on a bit of paper. That's about as far as they got.
Pretty much. That never happened.
In a year's time, it'd be on the Xbox 360 arcade, all right?
Yeah, but I think when we sat down and realised we actually, would have to work, everyone just stopped doing it. Really, I mean, one of them went off to London to university. The other one went up north somewhere to university, and then I was just a retard, so couldn't do it on my own. But
oh well, I thought I'd bring that in there for a 3-minute segment.
It's funny, mate. That's a good place to end, I think. So you've been collecting quite a lot. Well, we both have. Trying to fill
both of us.
Trying to fill the gaps in our collections. Some more than others.
I'm really into it. And as I say, I'm watching the bank balance very carefully, not being stupid, just slightly stupid. But no, and it's just it's interesting. I want to finish a set, and I have yet to do that. So I've been getting all the uncommons, commons, rares, trainer cards now, non-holos, and it's just like, okay, I wanted to get to the point where on every single set I've got, I only have to focus on holos, because that is the fun. That would be the fun part of the collecting. This at the moment, I think I've mentioned it before, just feels like the admin-y type bit of the work. So it's like, okay, catching up with the collections, and then I can start the real collecting, looking for those first edition holos, etc. And so yeah, at the moment I'm just sort of backfilling, which is what you're doing, I guess. But you're doing a bit more. You seem to be doing a bit more style than I am.
I mean, yeah, I'm pretty much doing the same as you, mate. I mean, not necessarily going for first editions. I'm getting some, but I'm just trying to fill up the gaps, picking up holos as they come along. But yeah, I mean, it's annoying because when I was younger, I collected all the cards, but I never really tried to complete the sets. It was more just like getting boosters and sometimes putting them in Pokédex order like you used to, and then sometimes just putting them in random bloody boxes and shit. I mean, I got loads of cards just battered, they've been thrown around in boxes and stuff over the years. But
yeah,
it's all part of the fun, isn't it? Collecting.
Oh, it's something I didn't expect to get into it as much as I have done. The past.
That's because you thought that you were a grown up, but it turns out that.
Yeah, we've all got that little kid inside of us still. So yeah, so the past 10 episodes or more, we've been focusing on Pokemon, really, haven't we? And collecting.
Yes, we have. I think we're finally starting to find a little bit of a niche. That's kind of what I guess I wanted this episode to be, was kind of just reflecting on what we've done so far, how we think it's gone, and kind of where we see it going. Because obviously, Series 1 and Series 2, if any bastard has listened to them, they're quite different. And yeah, this is going to happen. You try out new things, you get ideas, and you think, it's going to be brilliant, and then you do it, and it's like, fucking hell, Tom, we can't release this. There have been a couple episodes that we've dropped in there.
Yeah, so I think in total we've dropped about 4 episodes. So we've done, I think in total we've done about 40 episodes to date. Around that number,
yeah.
And we've dropped a few of them. And if you believe in coincidence, like I do, sometimes you look back and you think, actually, that was the right decision, even though things didn't quite work out like that. In hindsight, these things did. It was the right decision not to put ourselves out there in certain episodes. So
100%. I mean, it's fine. I mean, that's part of creating, isn't it? I guess not everything you're going to create is going to be gold. Some of it's just going to be dog shit, and that's that's the way it is. That's the way it is, mate.
Yeah, so it's transformed, isn't it, really? So it started off with, this games, films and 90s nostalgia, and it still is that.
Yeah.
But it was more heavily focused on a general range of topics, getting started, and Season 2, the start of Season 2, transformed into more of like just we'll pick something based around, say for example, horror or something like that, and we'd pick films and games around horror, your scariest games and stuff, and then it's obviously transformed again into more about some of the nerdier topics, I guess people would say, which is like collecting, gaming, news around the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Series 1, we did kind of focus more on, like, it was like generic films and games, wasn't it? Like, 5, Lord of the Rings characters, like nerdy shit like that, which is fine, because let's be honest, we're a pair of nerds, aren't we? But I think at the end of Series 1, we wanted to kind of try and broaden our horizons a little bit and include some extra stuff. And we're both interested in kind of like the macabre and mysteries and kind of theories and stuff like that. I think we wanted to try and theme the podcast around that, and it was like, we haven't got a clue what we're talking about. Because you can be interested in things, but just because you're interested doesn't mean you're fit to talk about it to an audience.
So, yeah, I mean, the ones we did around certain subjects, I think they came out well. However, what people don't realise is there's a level of effort that goes into obviously editing.
Yeah.
And it's easier on episodes where we talk about Lord of the Rings, Pokemon and games than it is to edit something around, a bit more of an obscure subject. So
Ghosts.
those earlier episodes were much harder to edit, and it took a lot more effort. So,
For sure.
But they came out well.
So I think some came out.
The ones
really
we've got
well.
on there.
I think some came out really, really good. Yeah, like I think Ghosts was a really good one. The Vampires one was really good. I think there's some that aren't as good, and there's some that we didn't even release, and that says it all.
Yeah, yeah. I think towards the end of that sort of little period, we did decide to take a left turn and be like, okay, let's make it back to
what we know.
I suppose the origins, which was based around games, films, and 90s nostalgia.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I'm glad we tried that kind of new stuff. I think it's important to try new things.
I think the like I said, what we did try worked, and I think even in some cases it worked better than we even expected, because we sort of hit chords with other people outside of the trio of subjects which we've chosen. So like
exactly.
Even a little bit, it was actually quite an interesting thing to do, because maybe even down the line, if we do decide to take a right turn, go back a little bit back to what we were doing earlier, sometimes revisiting in hindsight might be a good idea as well. So who knows what the future's going to hold in terms of season 3 onwards.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the standout, like, serious episode, I think the standout serious one from Series 2 would be the Ghost one. I think that's because, obviously, that's something that you've personally experienced, and it was a really good, interesting episode, I think. A few people have come forward and said, that was actually a really good episode. Doesn't fit in with the theme, but, you know what, not every episode has to, and it's good to try new things.
Yeah. I mean, I have actually got a lot of stuff to add to what I would consider to do a part 2 to that episode, which is equally interesting. But I need a guest on for that. So
yeah, I mean that's definitely something I think that I'd like us to revisit. So I guess my next question would be kind of where do you see the podcast going? Like, what can our fans? We have any, but what can the public expect?
Cancellation,
yeah. Dead air.
No, so I'll tell you something, right? So it's hard to sort of get these things going, and I feel like we are starting to snowball. Okay, we're making the right chords with the right people in terms of the topics that we've chosen. So an example of this, okay, a very minor example, I'll say, but we've been getting shout outs, okay, and we got a shout out last night, Sam, like you said. And I'll let you know last night as well, obviously.
Yeah, I watched it.
So it's just a little inkling into something spreading, an idea spreading. But there's a channel on YouTube called Graded Gem. For those of you who aren't aware, they help submit cards to PSA in America, and they sort of act as a middleman, really. And last night we got a shout out to say about the SNT Podcast. So in little ways, we are spreading. What was your question?
No, I definitely agree. It's
I see it growing more. I see it growing. I see like the momentum having a slow incline. Yeah. So I feel like it's going in the right direction. It's just that I do obviously these things take time. Some people get very, very lucky and have a great start, but ours has taken a bit of time, and that's fine because these things don't disappear from the internet. You know, we're going to have them on there for a long, long time. So you might find people will visit them in 6 months' time and be like, "Have you heard of this podcast?" And all of a sudden, when we get back for season 3 or 4, whenever we decide to pick up again, or if we decide to continue it throughout, you might find actually we get hundreds and hundreds of, you know, or thousands of views.
Yeah.
Compared to, because these things take time to pick up.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's quite tricky. I mean, if you're a YouTuber and you know that's your sole dedication, it's not easy at all. Like, believe me, I mean, it's fucking hard. But I would say
starting from zero.
I think it's easier if you're using a video medium to connect with people and pick up listeners and subscribers than it is through podcasts.
Yeah.
So it's a completely different way. So it's like there's not an algorithm that would recommend this to people on Spotify. It doesn't really work like that. There's things out there, but it'll be so hard to get picked up and recommended to someone, and that only really happens through like paid advertisements and things like that. So it's hard to spread words, and we're slowly getting there. It takes time. Yeah, I think it's important for us to just kind of keep on putting our shit out there.
I mean shit. So for those of you who don't know, so we actually started this podcast in the beginning of February, and we did 2-3 episodes, and obviously we didn't quite have the hardware, so we got some new microphones and stuff. And for those of you who listen back, you'll know instantly that we had poor audio quality. So
mate, those first 3 episodes are bloody hell.
But what you don't realise is that we started in February, and COVID-19 and the lockdown situation hit hard early March. So really, we had 3 weeks of experience of really testing out the waters podcasting before we was thrown into a completely different situation. So, and what we found is, like, it actually worked better separately from the audio perspective.
Yeah, I think so, definitely.
And that's how it's continued ever since. So it's almost like a blessing in disguise, really, in a way. Not COVID, but that situation for the podcast. You know. No,
I completely agree with you, mate. It definitely makes the kind of the editing and the recording process a bit easier. But yeah, for sure. The whole thing's been a kind of a learning experience, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, even silly things like learning how to use microphones, learning how to use, so we edit with Audacity, things like that, techniques. Even things like the little pop filters, on the odd occasion where we've had one break, we've noticed a massive difference in audio quality, and straight away we're like, okay, fuck, like we've got we realise what the standard is.
Yeah, for sure.
So you just learn things, and you only learn things through experience, I'm not going to bring it back to Pokemon, but similar to collecting, you find out there are different ways of doing things. So penny sleeves, KMC sleeves, deck sleeves.
Yeah, I mean, so I know
you find out through experiences.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, exactly. I know quite a few of the last episodes have been kind of Pokemon focused. I think that's definitely going to be a mainstay going forward. I don't think every single episode is going to be focused around Pokemon cards, but
it'd be Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, all the stuff the kids like, you know. No, but I definitely see that being a mainstay because it's something we're passionate about, and
yeah, I think
they say to talk about things that you're passionate about.
We should go through. We should do the round tables as like, and every now and again, not all of them, but every now and again we should throw in a Pokemon collection update or quiz time or whatever. Those are pretty good. Yeah.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. I still can't get over the first couple of episodes, the first series. It's kind of, oh god.
I mean, no, John. I actually, thinking back, right, I'm a little bit annoyed because, in my view, and I haven't listened to them for months. I mean, you're talking maybe 2 months after we recorded them, but I think the subject matter is good.
No, it is.
But the audio quality is like,
it's just unlistenable.
It's so shit, and it's like, wow, and at the time I was a bit naive. well, not naive,
Oh,
but
mate.
I was
No,
blinded
no.
by the fact that we're doing something new, and I wanted to be positive and upbeat,
Yeah.
and without realising, actually, the grass is much greener this side. I didn't quite realise that until I
I
actually
think
bought
we
decent mics.
exactly. I think we both were naive, of a few things, but that's part of it. You learn, don't you? You learn as you go. It is what it is.
And we did a lot of learning.
We did. We did do a lot of learning, and we tried new things. We finally found our feet. I would say Series 1 is kind of... That's as close as to what we want to do, I think. Like, back to
Yeah,
Series 1, a bit more refined, but that kind of stuff.
Series 1 2.0.
Yeah, exactly. I think Series 2 is... Half of it is related to Series 1, the other half isn't related. Of the half that isn't related, I would say... It's good. It's just I think
I
we
have a
tried new
positive view on
things.
it. I have a
Yeah.
positive view on it.
Yeah,
I think it was, even though it probably didn't fit. Sorry, don't put th in there. I don't know why. Even though it didn't quite fit the narrative of the podcast as much, I think it still works to a degree with a bit of effort when you're pissed up.
yeah, exactly, mate. No, it does. It does. So I guess this marks the end of Series 2. I guess the beginning of Series 3, or as Tom calls it, Series 1 2.0.
That might be a good way to do it.
Series 1 2.0.
Yeah, I mean, a little patch.
Update.
But yeah, we are going to bring it back to the gaming, and obviously we're going to keep nerdy stuff in there, and that's because we are nerds, and we love it. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't have it any other way. Like I love talking about games, animated cards, all that sort of stuff. We're all into it. Sam's into it. We fucking love it, and we love fucking following it, really. So
I completely agree with that. So that is it. That's the end of Series 2. What a fucking mess that was.
Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh, gaming, random stories, nostalgia films and games.
Hope you enjoyed it. Series 3 to come. We'll see you next week.